Crimson Trace announces Laser Guard Pro for today's most popular concealed carry firearms, combining a red or green laser sight with 150 lumen light, taking personal defense to the next level. Available now at your local dealer.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, now available on iTunes and other podcast clients, and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android. Feel free to call Tom now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN or 866-825-5486, or email Tom at guntalk.com. Now, once again, here's Tom.
All right, let's do some more gun talk. But first, we got to give stuff away, okay? We like these giveaways, and we have a brand new giveaway for you that you can enter for a chance to win. Remember, all you have to do is go to guntalk.com/win, W-I-N. What we're giving away this month is, hey, it's an FN. That's pretty sweet. Grand prize winner is going to receive an FNS 40 pistol. That would be a 40 caliber pistol, if you guys would like that. FNS 40 pistol. First prize is going to be an FN neon light, and then 20 winners are going to get an FN counter mat. So all you have to do is go to guntalk.com/win. By the way, in case you're wondering, yes, this is live, Labor Day weekend. Tons of different people we work with are doing sales, special Labor Day sales. Crossbreed holsters, 15% off and free shipping. Liberty Safe up to $590 off if on selected models. You go to libertysafe.com. Brownells, big sale going on at brownells.com. Remington shotgun barrels. Whoa, back the truck up. Shotgun barrels are 25% off. Gee, that's really good. Pyramid Air, use the code LABOR-16, as in Labor Day 2016, rather, to save 10%. Ruger, this is pretty cool. Use the promo code LD2016 to get free shipping on all online orders at shopruger.com. Slip 2000, use the code Labor Day to get free shipping. Goes on and on. Bigfoot belts, we were talking about Bigfoot belts just a minute ago. $10 off any 14-ounce steel core belt. Go to gunbelts.com. Lots of cool stuff going on out there. Let's talk about guns. Going straight to the phones now. Line 3, Bob's with us out of Oregon. Hey, Bob, thank you for your patience. Welcome to Gun Talk.
Thanks, Tom. I'll get right to the point. Gun laws, registrations, regulations rather, and executive orders, all of them have a penalty phase. Namely, somebody gets a felony tag on their way to prison, and it's a penitentiary, not jail. And if you think this is just going to pertain to people with black rifles, I refer you to May 1994 Federal Register, Jack Ward Thomas, who was Undersecretary of the Interior under the Clinton administration, who wanted to put a ban on all firearms on federal public lands. That's 2/3 of the western states of the United States. And I'll guarantee you one thing, folks.
Oh, no. We lost Bob. No, he's just, I was waiting for the payoff. I guarantee you one thing, folks, and then if he comes back and we get him back, oh my. But, Bob's right. If you think that the next Clinton administration doesn't want this, you're crazy. They wanted to ban all guns on all federal lands. Right now, Hillary Clinton's very open about wanting a gun ban. As soon as she gets elected, she's going to start working on the reenactment of the Clinton gun ban, but with, of course, greatly expanded scope. The Clinton gun ban, of course, supposedly tried to ban semi-automatic rifles. They found out that it didn't work, didn't reduce crime, did make it harder for people, but now they said, oh, okay, we figured out where we screwed up. We weren't nearly restrictive enough. And now we have a much, much bigger list of guns we want to ban. That's the Hillary Clinton gun ban effort. No longer secret. They used to keep this secret. There was it 4 years ago, maybe 8 years ago? The Democratic Party put out a paper. We got a hold of it. Talking about guns, telling its candidates, do not speak about guns. Don't talk about guns at all. Don't talk about your gun control efforts. just let it lie. That's not good. That cost us elections. Something's happened in the meantime, and I think it probably is a two-word answer. Michael Bloomberg, billionaire who's pushing gun control, the guy that doesn't want you to have a 32-ounce soda, also does not want you to have your constitutionally protected, guaranteed rights. And now Hillary's saying, yeah, good, we got the backing of a billionaire, let's go. And we can actually start now be open about our gun ban agenda. Not a gun control agenda. Make no mistake about it, it's a gun ban agenda. And it's right there on our platform. All right, let's go to line one. Roy, Medford, Oregon. Hello, Roy. Welcome to Gun Talk.
Hi. Appreciate your show.
Hi.
Hey,
Sure.
I was wondering, the things that they insert into dogs and cats to trace them down, why couldn't we put that in someplace on our gun in case it got stolen?
Okay, what would be... All right, let's go with that. There's already a serial number on, because the way the tracker, it's an RFID chip in a dog. When it goes to a vet, they scan it, right? That's how they figure out who the owner is. If a gun gets recovered, if it's a stolen gun, there's a serial number on it, and there's a report on it that says this gun was stolen, so we can identify the gun with the serial number. What would be the additional benefit of having a tracking chip or something in there?
Actually, I'd never thought about that because I was just concerned about I've had a gun stolen from me, and it took forever to get, and I never did get it back, even though the cops notified me. So I didn't really think that one through. But
when you mean they notified you, did they actually recover the gun?
No, they just said that if we do find it, you'll get it back. But that was so long ago, I never did hear from them.
Yeah, and a lot of times they never show up again. But yeah, if they recover it, and if there's a report of a stolen gun with the serial number in there, when it's recovered, that goes into the national, I forget what it is, some kind of crime database, and it pops up as a stolen gun, and it can get traced back to you. So we don't really need an RFID chip in our guns. We already have serial numbers on them, so we can do that. But there you go. And look, I'm sorry your gun got stolen, man. That's bad. By the way, thank you for the call. By the way, if you don't have insurance for your guns, let me suggest you get some. Your homeowner's policy may or may not cover it, and if it does, it has a limit on it, probably fairly low limit is my guess, in the $2,000 range. Doesn't take a lot to get over $2,000 in guns. Maybe one gun, depending on what you have. The NRA actually has a really good and fairly inexpensive insurance policy available, and you can get that and buy as much insurance as you want on that. I don't think you even have to list them by serial number. But, let me just say this, but it's a really, really, really good idea to have a list of all your guns and all their serial numbers and photographs of them, which is now easy. Hey, cell phones, right? We can take pictures with those. Store all those in the cloud somewhere, and if something happens, somebody breaks in, takes all of them, or if the house burns down. Think about that. House burns down, takes all your guns. Now you've got a record of all of them. Take a little bit of time, make a record of everything. Hope you never need it, but if you do, you'll really be glad you did. 866-TALK-GUN. Give me a holler. We're open lines. We can get you in right now. This is Gun Talk.
Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join, or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Batagroup. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Experts agree that the low-range variable rifle scope is best for most situations. Now, Trijicon offers a stunning 1-to-6 power variable in the AccuPoint line. Featuring a battery-free illuminated reticle, superior glass clarity, and rugged construction, it's the one scope you need for hunting and competition. Long eye relief, aircraft-grade aluminum housing, manual brightness override. See the 1-to-6 power AccuPoint at Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
FN handguns bear the DNA of legends, of John Browning, the father of modern firearms, of the artisans and craftsmen who brought his genius to life, of the brave souls who defended our freedom on the front lines for the last 100 years, and the brave souls who defend it on the home front today. FN handguns, the DNA of legends in the palm of your hand. Ask for FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
All right, back with you. Going to the phones. Glenn's with us out of Easton, Maryland on 4. Hey, Glenn, what kind of device have you purchased now?
Well, you know, you're an enabler, and it doesn't hurt like twisting my arm, but I got an LWRC 6.8 upper, and I shot it today. It took 9 rounds to zero it. Awesome gun using just open sights, nothing fancy on top, no glass yet. And I have a 6.8 magazine. I was trying 223P mags, and it didn't seem to want to load right. Is there a special magazine that's needed for that, for the 6.8?
Yeah, you need 6.8 magazines for that. In fact, I just looked on the Brownells website. They have several of them listed there. So you can go to Brownells. You might even be able to get them from LWRC. But man, you went the high price spread. That's some high end good stuff. LWRC makes good AR stuff.
Well, the cool thing is I live 15 minutes from their plant. I live in Easton, and they're in Cambridge. It's 15 miles away. My range I shoot at's literally 2 miles away from their range, so it's a pretty cool deal. I know a lot of the people that work there. It's a great organization, great company, and I absolutely love the setup. It's great.
Now, let me ask you, because I don't live in Maryland, you do. What's your restriction on magazines and capacity?
10 rounds. 10 rounds.
It's 10. Okay, so.
Now here's the other thing. I have a 1919, and I had my local sheriff check with the state police, and they don't care how many rounds you link up, which is an absolute joke. So you can only have a 10-round magazine, but I could link up a 1,000,000-round belt of 308 from my 1919.
Wait. So you could have You could have a belt-fed gun, and you can link up 7,000 rounds of ammo, and that's okay. But you can't load 11 rounds into your AR.
That is correct.
Okay, well, therein lies the idiocy of gun control laws, right there.
Well,
but no, to answer your question, yes, you need 6.8s.
Get that part out yet? So I'm fine with that. You know, I'm not fine with the 10-round limit, but I'm fine that I can link up as many rounds as I want.
Yeah, exactly. All right, but yes, you need 6.8 magazines for that. Brownells has some. There are other places, obviously, that have them. Do a little poke around, start buying. I'm looking. Let me see here. The 30 rounds are not going to do you any good. So you're just going to have to find you some 10-rounders for that. But that's a fine rifle. You did well. Glenn, thank you for that range report. Line 2, Clint, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Clint, what you got there?
Hey, Tom, love your show. Hey, I know, you've emphasized personalization in everyday carry, and I just wanted to emphasize that. A lot of people get too brand loyal, and they're like, well, I've got to have this because it has a certain name on it. Every component of my everyday carry is a different brand, and each individual component works best for me. And I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people get really brand loyal, and that's could be folly on their part.
Run through it. Tell me what's your everyday carry. Run through what your carry is. So give me an example of what you're talking about.
Well, my primary firearm is a Glock 34 3rd Gen 9mm. I carry it in a Safariland retention holster. I didn't like the Safariland mag holder, which I carry on the other side, so I got the FOBAs. And I carry it on a Blackhawk belt, which is not the most expensive belt in the world, but it works. It does the job.
Yeah. I love it. It's a great example of, look, find what works for you at whatever price point where you can live with it. And then the main thing is buy good stuff and then learn how to use it.
Exactly. And then train with it. I like the Safariland retention, the release. There are other holsters, retention holsters for the Glock, which has no safety, of course, where they release in different ways, but I found that the Safariland works best for me. I can get it out quicker. I don't carry a chambered round, which, of course, is a whole different debate, but with a gun with no safety. But I've trained on getting around in the chamber on the draw.
Really?
So,
really,
yes,
I'm going to challenge. I'm going to challenge you on that one, okay? Because I just put a guy through his paces doing that with a first-person offender scenario. How well can you do it one-handed?
Well, obviously, between the knees is one way, but for my purposes, it seems to work pretty well because I live very rurally and I'll see them coming.
No, you won't. No. No, you're totally fooling yourself. You won't see them coming. If you saw them coming, you wouldn't be pulling a gun. You'd be doing something else. It will happen when you least expect it. It's liable to happen with somebody whacking you with a crowbar and you've just disabled one hand, and now you're going to have to draw this gun, maybe with your weak side hand, and it is an unloaded gun because you've chosen not to have a round in the chamber, and now you got to find a way to rack the slide. I'm just telling you, this is I don't want to say what I want to say because I don't want to say something negative about you, man, but you have not thought this through. You really seriously have not. You need to get training on not putting your finger on the trigger until the sights are on the target. That's your safety on a Glock. But the idea of carrying an unloaded gun, which is exactly what it is if there's no round in the chamber, man, I can draw up a dozen scenarios where you can't get around in the chamber. Somebody grabs your hand and is holding it. Now you only have one hand. You draw your gun, but somebody's grabbed onto your arm. You got hit in an arm. You're trying to hold on to a kid with one hand, draw your gun and shoot with the other hand. You know. And as to the idea of I'm going to see them coming, no, it never works like that. And here's the thing: if you can see them coming, why are you using a pistol? If you see people coming and you know you're going to have to defend yourself, grab a rifle. If you see them coming and it looks like it's a problem, grab your phone. But the reason you have a handgun is because you don't see it coming and you got to act quickly. I'm just saying, just from all the experience and every trainer I've talked to, it's an inherently, exceedingly bad idea to go with the empty chamber carry. Just saying. Okay. Wendell's on line 3 out of Pensacola, Florida. Hey, Wendell, you're on Gun Talk.
Yeah. What I wanted to say is, what is Hillary Clinton going to do with her guns? I read an article I heard on TV. She likes to shoot guns and owns them.
She does not like to shoot guns. She does not own guns. She has lived for the last 30 plus years protected by people with guns. But any of these gun grabbing politicians that starts off with, well, I own guns. No, you don't. It's a lie. It's just simply a lie. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about her. She'll always be protected for the rest of her life by people with guns, but she is the ultimate elitist. Oh, did I mention she's also a felon and criminal? Yeah, and should have been charged by the FBI. I mean, come on. You can gain access and have a meeting with the Secretary of State, if you give money, millions of dollars to this private foundation, give money to the Clinton Foundation, and we'll send an email to the Secretary of State's Chief of Staff and make sure you get a meeting. People, that's illegal. That's criminal. Not to mention the whole email, lie, classified documents, lie to the FBI. I cannot recall, I can't recall. That's the ultimate criminal coward way out. I can't recall. That way you can't say, well, no, she lied. Oh, all she said was she can't recall. Then people are saying, well, that was, maybe she has a mental problem. No, it's not a mental problem. It's a clever criminal lawyer's way of making sure she doesn't get charged by the FBI. If you don't say anything, they can't say you lied to them. Can't do the Martha Smith thing on you. So she says, I don't recall. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but there's no way for us to prove whether or not you recall. So what did she say, 30, 40, 50 times? She said, I can't recall. I don't recall that information. I don't recall how that happened. I don't recall if I signed an ethics disclosure statement. I don't recall if I was briefed on classified documents. Yeah, you could say it's bad memory, but I don't think it's bad memory. I think she recalls exactly what happened. I think she remembers every detail. But I think the phrase, I don't recall, and those of us who are old enough to remember all the way back to Watergate, I don't recall, is kind of the modern United States equivalent of the Nuremberg trials, where I was only doing my job. I was just following orders. For her Nuremberg trial moment was being interviewed by the FBI. Instead of saying I was just following orders, she simply says, I don't recall. That's her defense. So the question is, you going to get away with it? Yeah, it's pretty much looking like it right now, isn't it? Who's going to do anything about it? Certainly nobody in our Justice Department. 866-TALK-GUN.
Want your opinion to make a difference? Log on to our website and take the Gun Talk poll, www.guntalk.com. Now, once again, opinion-based regular contributor for the Washington Times, here's Tom.
By the way, don't forget that you can see our videos on our TV shows also on Roku, Amazon Fire, and now on Apple TV players. We'll be loading up new videos this week. We try to put new ones up there. Stuff that's not on TV. We do extra content. We do interviews with people that didn't make the cut. We also have some pretty funny B-roll stuff, some bloopers that, for whatever reason, couldn't or didn't make the cut for TV shows. So yeah, it's on Roku, Amazon Fire, and also Apple TV. Just do a search for Gun Talk. You'll find us there. Pretty simple. Line 1, Bill's with us out of Houston, Texas. Hello, Bill, and thank you for calling in.
Hey, Tom. Hey, I hate to whip a beat a horse on this subject, but it's something that's really concerning me. I think a lot of people caught on last year's show about a certain person getting in office, and I don't think we knew who we were talking about to mention her name, but I think he hit the nail on the head basically saying how there's a lot of law enforcement people that wouldn't, but quite a few people that would. Actually, a third of the people would probably follow orders to go after their own family if they were ordered to, like autonomous robots. But, at the end of the day, though, I don't think there's really enough people to go after, it's going to take an MRAP and, with 8 people to go after every gun owner. However, what they'll do probably is, and I'm speculating here, I think that they make the restrictions so difficult and so tough that it will be almost impossible, for manufacturers and purchase ammo and for firearms in that situation.
Well, hey, Bill, take a breath here because I got to dive into the middle of this thing. In fact, I appreciate your call, but let me just dive in. What Bill is talking about, as I was mentioning, I don't know, a week or so ago, that some people say, well, if they come to take my guns, by golly, I'll fight them. Well, it's not going to work that way. Number one, you can't fight guys in MRAPs or tanks or whatever. But somebody wrote me an interesting email. He says, that's not how it's going to work, actually. It's going to be subtle. It said they will do it in such a way that you will actually be glad to go turn in your guns. At first I thought, what? And then he laid it out and I went, oh, wow, yeah. It's real simple. You get a Hillary Clinton in, and already she and others in the gun ban movement have said that the NRA should be a terrorist organization. It should be labeled officially by the U.S. government as a terrorist organization. It's not very far to go from there to say that anybody who owns X semi-automatic rifle is automatically put on the terror list. Now, follow me on this, because this is going to sound a little bit paranoid, but I know these people, and I know how they work, and I know how they think. So they have this list, and they say, if you're on this list, you have to go turn in your guns. And you don't, because you won't, because you said you won't. And then you go to fly, and you can't. And then you go to buy something, and your credit card doesn't work, because they've shut down your credit card accounts. And then you go to the bank to get cash out, and you can't, because they've frozen your bank account. And trust me, it's all linked. They've got all the information. And now let's see. You can't pay any bills. You can't travel. You can't function. You can't hold a job. But all of those will be released when you go turn in your guns. That's real world. Just something for you to chew on. Line 4, Mark's with us out of Farmington, New Mexico. Mark, you are a gunsmith?
And people were headed right straight for it.
Hey Mark, you there?
Tom, yeah,
hey,
I'm
Mark?
here. You hear me?
All right, yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, this is the real world, okay, that you're talking about, and I didn't just fall off the turnip wagon. I'm a gunsmith. I've worked at it off and on all my life. My brother-in-law taught me years ago, a guy you've probably read about, and one thing or another, back been quite a few years ago now because he's dead now, Dale Lane out of Houston, Texas. And he's who taught me. I do all work for the sheriff's departments and everything here, one thing or another, so I haven't fell off the wagon either. I'm still on it. I don't know how long I'm going to be, but you're absolutely right. What's coming down here, it's already here. It's illegal. People, we got to stand up against it. Whatever it takes. I'm going to be dead here just any time probably, but till I am, I'm going to fight it.
Well, somebody says basically we're all about to die. Some just a little bit sooner than the others, but relatively speaking, we're all about to die. That's an interesting point. But Mark, and look, I appreciate your call. Those who are kind of scratching their heads and going, "Whoa, that's dark, man. That is dark." Well, it is. But I also know that's what they want. That's what they will do. They've already tried. They've instituted a national gun ban before under Bill Clinton. They banned the most popular types of rifles being made, the most popular types of rifles being purchased. But the only way that they could get, and this is a history lesson for those of you who weren't there, the only way they could get this thing passed in 1994, because they had 40 years of rule by the Democrats in Congress. The Democrats had controlled Congress for 40 years. And they said, okay, we can't quite get this passed, but tell you what we'll do. We'll put a little provision in there that says this thing will automatically sunset. That means it'll go away, it'll evaporate in 10 years. Of course, they're thinking to themselves, we'll just redo it. 10 years, we just redo it. It's a big deal. So we got the Clinton gun ban for 10 years with an automatic sunset so that Congress would have to go back and renew it. If they had not put in that sunset provision, we would have the Clinton gun ban now, and it would have grown and grown and grown. You wouldn't be able to own an AR-15. You might not even be able to own any semi-automatic firearm. But the very act of them passing this law actually cost the Democrats control of Congress, law of unintended consequences. And so when it came around in 10 years, they didn't pass the renewal, and it did, in fact, sunset, and it went away. Hillary Clinton says we've got to bring it back, and we've got to do it in such a way that it doesn't sunset. And, oh, yeah, we've got to make it much, much tougher and more inclusive and more restrictive than the Clinton gun ban part 1. So when we get to the Clinton gun ban 2.0, there's no recovery. So now the question is, will you get on board to stop her? 866-TALK-GUN.
Shooting your gun is more fun than cleaning your gun, right? Then you want Federal's newest high-tech ammo, American Eagle Syntech. With polymer-coated bullets to eliminate copper and lead fouling, clean-burning powders, and the Catalyst lead-free primer, Syntech range ammunition means you clean less, shoot more, and shoot better. No copper jacket also reduces splashback when shooting steel in 9mm, 40, and 45. Visit federalpremium.com and ask your local retailer for Syntech ammo.
Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis. Whether you're unbalanced, evading a threat, or engaging from behind cover, a laser sight aids in keeping you on target. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn more about why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or gundealio.com.
As we celebrate 2 centuries in Remington country, it's humbling to think about all the ground we've covered. Since the infancy of our nation, we've journeyed with you every step of the way, helping shape the course of American history. Remington country is bigger than a place, and for the 200 years, it's been our highest honor supporting your freedoms and your way of life. To celebrate, Remington is giving away 200 guns. For a chance to win, tell us your story at 200sweepstakes.remington.com.
Straight to the phones. Line 2, Brian, Vancouver, Washington. Hey, Brian, range report. Give it to me.
I got a range report first on ATI Omni receivers. They're plastic, reinforced with zinc inserts. I have a carbon 15, so I'm aware of the advantages and disadvantages of plastic reinforced lower receivers. And this is kind of a step up, I thought. So that's we're getting some heat on AR-15s. I thought I'd put about 3 of them in the bank here, and so went to cheaper than dirt, and they had a good price on it, and so I pulled the trigger on that, and then all the fees started in. There's special shipping fees, and when it gets here, it's transfer fees, and there's taxes, and so the cost of these things just about doubled by the time they got in my hands. And so take them home and start collecting parts and stuff, and I just thought to myself, before I start putting parts into this thing, I ought to see if the upper receivers will fit onto these, and I have 5 of them, and they all interchange. But on those 3 receivers, not one of those upper receivers will fit on this. There's a binding issue, which is kind of bowing the receiver out and makes the retaining pins not fit. So ATI is,
and this is
taking,
ATI.
They're taking it back. Let's assume they do everything right. My point in all this is that buying mail order for something like this is not a prudent way to go. I bought a couple of Aero Precision lowers here locally, paid more than twice what I paid for the Omnis, but they work. So,
buying known brand names is also another way to go. But look, I want to get to your story because this sounds very interesting. You had a story with. Well, tell me about this conversation you had.
All right, I have a friend here, nice guy. We just started talking one day, and we found out that we're on the opposite side of the gun issue, and he's pro Bloomberg in every detail, and I take a different point of view that's much like yours. And so this conversation was getting pretty heated at one point. And I says, enough of this. I says, you have a vote, I have a vote, I have a gun, you don't. Your vote doesn't count. And I asked him, you have 20 people who think the same as you who don't own guns? He said, yes. And I says, well, their votes don't count either. And he didn't like that. Of course, I wasn't very happy about it. And actually, he's never spoken to me since then. But the fact is that we need a different point of view in the way we're attacking the political problem here. During this conversation, I told this fellow, I says, the people who legally own guns aren't causing any of the problems. And if you want to make every police officer and law enforcement officer that you're counting on to take these guns away, if you want them to pee in their pants and have their family pee in their pants, and I'll extend that now to say if you want the politicians pushing it to pee in their pants, you just have some law enforcement people come after the legal gun owners in this country, and you will see that all happen all at one time. So
let me ask you, were you able to make any headway with him? Because that's the real payoff is not that you said this or that. The real question is, were you able to get him to come around to your way of thinking at all?
Absolutely not. And it's not ever going to happen. So we need something.
What's his
position? A plan
position?
B that shows there's a stinger to this thing. It's not just we're going to pass a law and you're going to comply even if we have to take a few to jail. You have seen in some of the illegal stuff that's gone on recently where people are fighting back against the police because of perceived injustices, that it doesn't take more than one or two people to make a big damage in the law enforcement system. And if the law enforcement people and the political people are working against law-abiding people, they're going to stop one day and they're going to retaliate and defend themselves.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but the reality is that's not who we are. We're the people who do obey the laws. We're not the law-abiding people. We're not people who are going to say, "Well, I'm going to take violent action against police." Police are the people we work with. That's just not who we are. And so, while I understand the sentiment of saying, "Okay, we want to make sure people know there are consequences here," because the goal would be what we use to get them to back off. Actually, look at your experience. It doesn't get them to back off. What it does is gets them to say, you people are crazy. We must take your guns away. I would offer that is a counterproductive argument to say, well, we're going to get violent if you do that. Well, then they're going to say, well, see, told you guys shouldn't have guns. Rather than that, let's find some other ways. There are some persuasive ways to work on this, but in the meantime, let's try to avoid getting there in the first place. We do that by winning the election. We get there by making sure that Hillary Clinton does not get elected. We also look down ballot and make sure that no D's get elected. I'm sorry, Democrats, if you're a good one, too bad. You chose the wrong party. All right, back with you. Did you hear about the Ohio man who shot himself during a dentist appointment? Evidently he was getting nitrous oxide. James White, 72. He was getting nitrous oxide. That's that gas that kind of knocks you out, getting some work done. He thought he heard his phone ring. He went to grab it, but accidentally, according to this news article, grabbed his pistol and fired the weapon. A bullet went through his hand and grazed his stomach. No one else was hurt. May I suggest, if you're going to have drugs administered to you, if you're going to have anesthetic, if you're going to be under anesthesia, you may not want to have a gun on you. If you're going to, it's kind of like when you self-incapacitate, if you're going to go out and say, I'm going to go get fallen down drunk, you really don't want to have a gun on you then either. I would also offer, if you're going to go into a doctor's office and they are going to be taking your clothes off of you, et cetera, and doing exams, you might want to find a way to leave that gun in the car or hand it to somebody who can take care of it for you. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. Line 1, Mike's with us, Lufkin, Texas. Mike, sounds like you got a problem here. What's going on?
I just came to defend the new Remington R51. It's getting a lot of bad rap on YouTube on different videos. Some like it. A lot of them have problems, and one of the problems is the takedown on it. I watched several, including the Remington takedown. This fellow's name is Travis, and nobody mentions it. Nobody. And I found out just by watching and doing exactly what they did, you cannot take the gun down holding it upright. The slide will not come off. It has to be laying down. The breech block will drop down and lock the gun in place. And so people need to know that.
So now, do you have one?
Yes.
How's it working for you?
Yeah. Well, I haven't taken it to the range yet, but I had some other problems that were on the videos. Okay. My only real complaint to Remington would be that their clips, I call them the jaws of their clips, are too tight. The many rounds you would let the slide go and it would stop halfway. It wouldn't even push the bullet out of the clip. And this is using brass case ammo. Right. Hornady brand, good ammo. And it wasn't nosing down. It wasn't angling any kind of way. It just wouldn't release it. And that was obvious. And so the solution was, the first thing a person should do is take a polishing tip on a Dremel and take the clip apart and run it down those little edges in there and smooth them out like glass. Okay. If that doesn't work, what I did was I spread the jaws about 8 to 10 thousandths. And now they slip in and out. They'll slip out of there quick. Well, you know what's interesting about that? However, I'm really excited. I really wanted the gun. I was aggravated at first, but you can't beat it for the price and what it is. Well, I don't know if you saw the video I did on the R51, Mike, but I had some failures to feed, and the guys at Remington said something that's interesting, and I'm listening to you and thinking about what they said, putting the two together. They said they found that you need to shoot 3 or 4 full loads through a magazine, load it up, shoot it through there, before the magazine becomes reliable. Not the pistol, but the magazine. And that kind of goes to what you're saying, Mike, because you're polishing out the feed lips and maybe even spread them out a little bit. And maybe that's what's taking place here. But for those who are having problems, you could either do what Mike's done, do the Mike treatment on the mags, or probably shoot a box of ammo through each magazine now, and see if that doesn't take care of it. Should you have to do that? That's a topic for another time. But if you have an R51, maybe that's something you ought to take a look at. Mike, I appreciate that call. All right, when we come back, we're going to be talking to a guy who got into serious legal trouble in a self-defense situation. I think you're going to be able to learn a lot from this one.